In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a skirt out of man's pants. Now it obviously helps that you use bigger pants, like if you're small, buy like a medium-sized pants for a guy. Now what I'm going to do is just cut across here and around the zipper, and don't throw that away because we're going to reuse the zipper for our skirt. And then just cut down the sides of the pants so that you can have 4 different pieces to work with. Okay, so I'm going to show you how I cut down the sides. I don't unsew or anything. I just grab my scissors and I just cut and undo it. You know, it's a lot faster. And I do this along all the seams. Alright, so here I have cut all of the pieces. They're all folded right here. And as you can see, this would be the top of the pants, and down here is the bottom. So what we're going to do is use the bottom as the top part and this center piece as your bottom part. As you can see, all the pieces go open, so it looks kind of like a triangle, and that's what we're going to use. So you're going to use the biggest part down here. See, right into this corner, it goes out, and we're just going to do a straight line and cut across here. Okay, now see, I've cut here already, and these extra pieces, don't throw them away because you can always use them if you want to add pleats or whatever to the bottom of your skirt. This is what you use. Now, here, we're going to fold this in the center so that it's just perfectly halfway folded. And you're going to see the length. Measure the length that you want your skirt to be, and that's where you're going to cut it, up here. Since the pants that I am working with has the leg already cut off on one leg, this is just the length that I'm going to make all of my pieces. And since it's a little shorter than what I would prefer my skirts to be, I'm just going to add extra to either the top or the bottom, and that way I can lengthen it. Okay, now that you have all your pieces cut out to the length you want, fold it in half. And you're going to measure around your waist or wherever the skirt is going to be. I'm doing it right above my hips. So then you're going to take that number, divide it by 4, and then the result of that one, you divide it by 2 since you're folding this in half. And you're going to measure starting from the back out. I'm going to measure from the back, then from there you're just going to grab a straight ruler or something, a straight edge, and just make it as straight as possible all the way down to that corner. Okay, now that you have everything cut out, you're just going to put your sides together and just sew down the side and connect them all together. Okay, now this is pretty much how your skirt is supposed to look like. And just to be safe, measure from the seam where you sewed right here, this line, all the way down, and measure up to here. And it's supposed to be half of the measurement of around your waist. And if it doesn't add up, if it's too big, then just sew a little bit down, mark where the line is, and then just sew down. If it's too small, then grab it out. Okay, now that you have everything sewn together, you're going to want to make sure you do a zigzag on the edge, and that'll stop it from fraying and unraveling. Now you're going to remove the zipper from the pants, and you guys can even keep this if you wanted to add it to your skirt. When I'm taking off the zipper, I've learned that once you just take off a little piece of it with your seam ripper, you can just pretty much rip the rest of it off, and it'll come off pretty easy. And when you have it finished ripping off, remember to remove all these little threads so that it won't get stuck in your sewing machine. And now that you have this taken all off and cleaned, you're going to get one of the seams in the center where 2 fabrics meet and iron it flat. Open it and iron it flat. And then you grab your zipper and you're going to pin it down, like down flat. And remember to line this right with the line. Okay, now I've sewn around it, and you can just remove your pins I just cut right under here, because I go down and then just sew across and then go up. Now on the inside, on the outside right here, you just use a seam ripper and just open all that down to where that line is, where the base of it is. Okay, now I've opened up this where this zipper is, and all you need to do is just remove these little extra pieces of thread, and they come off pretty easily. Okay. Now you just pull it down all the way so you can go up and down easily. And what I end up doing is I just cut these off straight across here. And now, be careful not to pull this back up or it will come off and it's pretty much impossible to put it back on. Here is the bias tape, and this is pretty much just folded material, and you can get it at a craft store or make it yourself. What you're going to do is fold it in a little bit like this, and then fold it down again to have it back to its original position, and then just overlap it over your zipper like this. See? And then just do that all the way around on your skirt. You can pin it down if you want, which helps a lot, and then just sew down on the edge. Okay, once you've sewn on your bias tape, I would recommend to sew right up on here on the line. Just do a small stitch, and that'll keep it flat on the top and it won't lose its shape. Okay, so now that I have this done, I'm going to add to the bottom. I'm just going to add 7 inches long, and I'm measuring this to see the length. Comes out to about 27. So I'll add an inch for seam allowance, for half an inch seam allowance, and so it's going to be 28 inches long up here. Now for the bottom, I'm going to add 2 inches, or I'm going to add 3 inches so it'll go wider. The top will be smaller and the bottom will be bigger, so it'll continue that big triangle shape. Okay, so here I have a piece of material that is 31 inches and a half, and I need the top of it to be 28 inches and a half. But I want it to be in a triangle. So, and this is 2 pieces that I'm going to use for the bottom of my skirt. So I'm folding it in half. Now I'm going to want the top to be 14 1/4. So I'll take my measurement, and I get 14 1/4 is right there. So then now I'm going to grab my ruler and just make a straight line going from the bottom of the corner to that dot I made. And of course this is having seam allowance. Sew the both sides and then sew it onto your skirt. Okay, so now that I have this sewn, I flipped it inside out so that the sewing is on the inside. And then you're going to grab it and put the right sides facing each other, the pretty sides facing each other, the part on the outside. This is what you're going to do. Make sure you have the smaller side on top, and when you flip it, so that it ends up being here on the bottom. And then you just connect them and pin it down and sew. Now I want to try and use as much of the material I can. So I made these little triangles, and I'm going to sew them to the bottom. When you do triangles, you just want to pin it, sew a straight line, leave the needle there at the top, and then move it so that you're doing another straight stitch. You don't want to just continue all the way around, because that'll do a round top. Okay, this is what I meant about doing triangles. I just did a straight stitch on one side, and here I am arriving at the point of the triangle, and I just go slowly until I hit the end, and then I leave the needle down lift the foot, and then I swing this to the side. And then once I have it all aligned, this, I just put the foot down and I continue. So then I get a good pointy triangle. Here's another thing you can do to add triangles. Let's say you just cut here, right, the slit. So then you open it, put your triangle piece under it, and then you fold these pieces in, the edges, and you fold the other edge. So it'll be like that. And all you do is just sew right around it on top. For your zipper, all you have to do is just put a little dot right here. And right here. And then it's done and your zipper won't come up. See, locks it. So, yeah, you can just do pretty much whatever you want to the bottom just to add your own little look to everything. And these bows, I actually did a tutorial on how to make bows, so you guys, if you don't know how to make bows, you can go on there. The way I attach these bows is I just did a couple strings here in the center, attached it here and to here on all of them. This is another skirt I made with the same way out of men's pants. These are men's dressy pants. See, this one, it's longer, so I didn't have to add too much to the bottom, and so I decided to use the leftover material, the rest of the legs, to make pleats. And then I didn't have enough, so I just added black hair and a bow, and you know, I love bows, so I add them to almost everything I make. The way I attached this bow was here on the corners, one in the center, and another two here on each corner. That way it keeps it flatter just because it's a bigger bow. So yeah, there's our two examples. Something you can make, something different you can make with skirts. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please comment, subscribe, and rate it. Thanks, bye.